Hey guys, welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to make the German Empire a financial and military superpower. So instead of building a fleet at this point in time, I'm going to go to the finance tree, okay? And we're going to pump a lot of what we have into transport capacity, okay? Until this reaches about 200%. I'm gonna try to about 2% each time. By the time this gradually goes down, we should be making a decent amount of money through transport capacity, and it should be close to 200 by then. We have 117 of that, 1,000 going to the naval budget, so what I'm gonna do is give as much of that as we can to the tech budget so we can accelerate our research as fast as possible. Financially, this does not look very smart, but believe me guys, when I tell you, it is actually smarter than you think. I think for now we'll stick at 3% because that'll bring 2 million into the German Empire per turn, which might not seem like a lot, but it will accelerate quite quickly. I'm gonna strengthen that, we're gonna get boilers, and then we'll be doing the engine as well. And then after 4 months, well, we can get the small guns in 6 months. If we want to, we can accelerate that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna accelerate that so we get 3 technologies around the same time. As you can see, the amount of money that we're pulling is gradually going up. And by the time we're done with this, it's gonna be very, very insane. The amount of money that we'll be pulling each month, even after all of the expenses. Okay, 11 months left on the engines here. So that's 11 turns. Decrease that to a month. And as you can see, we're now getting 3 million a month because we're growing our GDP. And as you can see, we're already 8%. For every percent that we're going up past 100, we're getting bonuses for the economic growth, okay? As you can see, the monthly naval budget is growing as well because our economic power is growing. This is what I do for the first couple of years until we get to dreadnoughts, and then I just start pumping dreadnoughts out of the ports, and we should get some new hull construction here in about 3 turns. As you can see, we are rapidly gaining money here. Rapidly. 4 million. Yeah, we're already pulling 4 million, which might not seem like a lot, but as this builds, it's gonna get crazy. As you can see, it's already almost 5 million. We're doing completely insane stuff right now. This is exactly how you get ahead. Exactly how you get ahead. You got a new cruiser, like Cruiser 3 has been unlocked. And we'll have special machinery in 6 months. 5 million already, guys. Our economy is just skyrocketing now. We're already up to 119%, guys. We wanted to stop at 200 is what we want to do. We'll stop it when it reaches 200. And then we'll maintain that percent. We'll back the money that we're putting towards it until it levels out, but it doesn't decrease because we don't want that either. And as you can see, we're now putting 6 million back. Not exactly, but close to it. 5.5 million. Awesome. Fantastic. Turret mechanism. Let's see what we can't get in here. I'm gonna research probably the big guns and then also the turret mechanism as well. Rangefinders is kind of far off, but maybe you want to go with the control station first because turret mechanism is all fine and good, but then again, turret mechanism is closer, so we can get that in 2 months and then do the control station when that's done. 6 million, guys. $6 million going back into the economic system. I'm gonna start to improve relations with some people so we have some spending prestige here. Alright, as you can see now we're pushing 6,400,000 in the economy, and that's after all expenses. That's fantastic. Let's push for the control station. We'll get that in 3 turns. Where are we at? 120 at this point. And we gotta stop it at, because that's gonna be wasted money that we could put somewhere else at that particular point. Such as upgrading ports, all that good stuff. 13-inch Mark 1 guns and gun cotton. Getting some better armor quality would be good too. Actually, come to think of it. I'm gonna boost this boilers tech as well, and then after that, maybe we'll put into armor quality. Actually, after control stations, we'll put into armor quality. 7 million, guys. We've essentially already recovered a lot of what we spent because we've been doing that like that. So if you want to build economic power and then surpass everybody in technology, this is how you do it. This is exactly how you do it. We'll get armor quality in 10 months. Actually, to be honest, let's get the cruiser design, because that's the shortest, and then we'll get armor quality yet again. As you can see, we're now pushing $7.5 million into the monthly balance, and when we started, we really spent it all the way down to about $1 million. I think we had $2 million when we started that we were putting back into the monthly balance. I need to check our finances, see where this is percentage is at. 135%. Now I gotta watch that like a hawk, because as soon as it reaches 200, I gotta cut back on spending. 8 million, guys. We're pushing 8 million, coming back from $2 million, and there's $129,000 going to the technology right now, and this is early game, guys. We're gonna be really accelerated by the time things start taking off here, and you have to understand, guys, this is 0.6% going to the naval budget, alright? And there's $129,000, almost $30,000 going to the naval budget right now. Imagine what we'll be pushing by 1900. I would imagine we would be pushing at least 200,000 by 1900, if I had to guess. Just going to the Navy alone. And I don't mean just the Navy, I'm talking probably freaking the tech budget alone, $200,000. If I had to guess, we'll get better armor quality in about 8 months. I'm not gonna hold back on that no more. We need to get that real quick. You can also do this with Japan as well, but it's much harder to do because Japan has a lot less finances to work with. I mean, I've worked with Japan and essentially turned them into a $20 million thing, but it takes a while to do that, to be perfectly honest. I never was too interested in that. Hold up, guys. Alright, I'm back, guys. Alright, so now we have... So again, when this reaches... I want to back off the funds for this, so we can save a little money to put elsewhere. As you can see, we're now pushing 9 million for a monthly balance, even after expenses. This is exactly how you build a superpower with the best ships and cannot be challenged on waves. February of 92. As you can see, we're pushing 9,300,000 now. Almost 400,000. This is exactly how you do it, guys. I've seen the results. They speak for themselves. Just out of curiosity, though, I do want to take a look at how much is going towards naval technology at this point. We're going to get better boilers in 3 months. As you can see, we're just flying through the technology as well. Even technology that we're not boosting is getting done rather quick. $10 million even after expenses, guys. That is absolutely insane. I could go check the finances right now. Okay, we're about halfway to 200%, just about. And we're putting about 150 $140,000 in the tech budget. We're putting $172,000 in the naval budget itself. We're having an annual growth of 7.55%. That is fantastic. For an annual growth, that is crazy. Japan only gets 8% when you do this. This is just absolutely phenomenal. And it's just helping us increase our research rate too, guys. That's the best part about this. There's almost $10.5 million going back into the economic growth at this point. I'm going to try and get some more naval prestige by improving relations with France. Guys, we're worth, I didn't check this before I started, but right now we're worth $34,700,000 in some odd numbers, okay? That's insane, but we're gonna check it a little bit later and see what comes up, because it's gonna be insane. That means if we remove all the expenses, we'll be worth 34 million going back into the German economy. Definitely, we got -2 prestige, but I'll try somebody else. That's insane. Truly freaking insane. The rate in which we are doing this is just crazy. I mean, I can't even keep up with, all the technology that's coming out. I mean, some of it's not even being boosted because it's coming out so fast. And we're now up to $11 million right now. That is absolutely insane. I gotta look at what percent we're at with this. Okay, so we're about halfway there now. Monthly naval budget is $178,000. Rough estimate. We're putting $146,000 of that into tech. Now, once we hit the 200 percentile, I am going to back that off and increase the tech budget even more, because we'll be making more money to put back into the technology. And then the ships that are going to come out of our ports, because once I get the 200 percentile, guys, I'm gonna start upgrading the ports with the money we're getting too, okay? So I might not adjust the tech budget right away because we're going to have to put money into upgrading the ports, but the ships that are going to come out of German ports are going to be absolutely beyond anything else the world has ever seen. There's 7,300,000 going into the German economy right now. And as you can see, we're doing technology very, very fast. I keep saying that, but we really are. Usually, when you play as Japan, you are not at the second level of hull strengthening in this year. You are usually waiting a lot longer. Okay? You're most definitely waiting a lot longer for that stuff. And since we're Germans, let's celebrate the submarine experiments here. Ain't that classic? 11,600,000. If you guys remember, we started with $2 million going into the economic system. Just in a couple of turns, I'm gonna switch to small guns so we can accelerate that. I'm gonna check that percentile here. Almost 12 million, guys. 12 million starting from 2. Naval budget, we don't really need anything else from either so take this because it improves relations with the United States, because we're just gonna make more money as our economic power grows. And as you can see, we're up to 50% now, and we have almost 200,000 going to the Navy, and there's 149% of that going to the tech budget. So we probably could increase it some, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to increase it until we actually get to that 200 percentile. We're worth about $36 million, almost 37 at this point, with all the expenses combined. That is gross income. That is not net. That is everything, not including expenses. That is crazy. White powder. As you can see, we are researching growing very, very quick. And it's just going to accelerate when I put more funds allocated to it. December of 1892. And we're pushing about 12 million. Yeah, we'll take that. Wow, that might be worth it. Yes, indeed. Nice. So, what is our GDP right now? How's the growth? Okay, there's 187 of that. 187 going to the naval budget right now. GDP minus the army budget is $35 million. So if we get rid of all the expenses that we have right now, that's what we'll be pulling, guys. We're up to 158% for the transport capacity. There we go. We gotta watch the unrest too. Hopefully we get some events that basically make that go down, because we need to get that to go down some. Alright, cool. 160% basically right now. There's almost 200,000 going to the naval budget right now. Only about half that is going to the tech budget. But that is still quite a bit of money when you consider everything. And 13 million, almost 14 million going into the monthly balance. 14 million, 500 and some thousand dollars going into the economic power at this point. So as you can see, we really are building a financial powerhouse out of Germany. A $2 million ship ain't gonna be nothing in this playthrough. All this is gonna be easy for us to afford because our financial growth is going to be absolutely astronomical. And we're going to be also research very, very fast as a result. Almost $15 million going back in there now. And again, we started with 2 million going in there. That is absolutely insane. Semi-armored cruiser, 3-inch Mark II guns, turret mechanism. I think that's what we'll do next. We'll get that in about 2 months. 1 million going back into the monthly balance. Again, we came from 2 million. That's how much we've spent on putting into the economic system. We started with about 40 million, I think, maybe 30, 20. I'm not sure, but it was I think it was maybe 20. Maybe you guys could tell me because I wasn't paying attention. But we're almost back to where we were when we started. That is absolutely astronomical. Let me see what we're doing. Okay, percent right now. Okay. Again, once it reaches 200, I'm gonna want to stop, which is gonna slow down our growth. There's gonna be no doubt about it, but we're gonna be having such a bonus from that 200% that it's still gonna grow very, very quick. As you can see, we're up to $6,401,000 going back into the economic system at this point. I do want to increase our relations with the British though before it gets to war, because we are not ready for this crap. We're not ready for war, and I'm doing that on purpose so that we can surpass them in technology and stuff, okay? It's gonna take me a couple years. I need to buy myself time to do that. And I know some of you might be thinking that I'm playing the game wrong, okay? But I am just building something that we can eventually just steamroll whoever goes against us. Be the dominant power in the earth. Wow, that decreased it by 3 months. That's insane. So we're gonna get our stuff 3 months earlier than we would have. That's insane. We're just flying through this technology right now. $17 million. I want to see what our GDP is actually worth right now. How much are we worth? $43 million. So as you can see, we have gone up for about 10 million than we were before. And that is insane. That is absolutely insane. We have 170% on this transport capacity. Okay, so we have about 30 more percent to go. And then I'm gonna cut the funds down to 0. Not 0 in the way you might be thinking, but you see this percentage here? That is causing it to go up by per, turn. Okay, a little bit over, but not much. And That's why we're exploding the way we are, okay? Once we hit 200, I'm gonna cut so that this number is 0, okay? So we maintain that percentage, but here, let me see if I can't get this to come up for you guys. In your nation's economy, the fleet needs transport ships in order to function at its full potential and efficiently replenish fuel and ammo-free warships. The slider determines the policy cost of building more transports. If you have transport capacity higher than 100%, you will receive GDP. Your GDP will receive bonuses. During war, you will start having an economic impact with each loss. Transport losses if capacity is lower than 100. So as you can see, the higher you go up, the faster your GDP actually goes up. So right now what we're doing is we're building an economic superpower. That is what we're doing, guys. And then what we're going to do is when I get to that percentage, I'm going to put that money into upgrading the ports, because we need to do that a couple times so that we can support building dreadnoughts and all that good stuff. We'll get advanced torpedo tubes in about 11 months. Dang it. Yikes. Ouch. But we can't afford to take that hit. We can, but we can't. If we want to stay ahead, we can't remove funds from the naval budget. I'll be right back in a sec. Okay, guys, so just to put this in ballpark percentages, I had a conversation with Gemini on my phone. Sometimes I love that feature because you can research things without actually leaving what you're doing. So while I was gone, I had a conversation with her. And just to put this in perspective, the starting budget of the German Empire right now is $20 to $30 million on normal difficulty, okay? And we started in 1890, okay? We are almost back to what we were before we allocated those funds. We're back up to 18 million for a monthly balance. That is crazy, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. You can just absolutely make your economy super OP. Now I'm curious though, how much we are worth in terms of gross income, right? I want to see what that is. And we have to go to the politics tab anyway, because we have to do the relations with the British here. Okay, let's improve the relationship with the British. And I'm going to show you guys something, because this is going to be insane. Okay, gross income right now, without allocating any funds to anything, is $4 million. We've already went up about $2 million than we were before. Last time we checked it, I think we were at $41 million. We have a stronger economy than Austria. We have a stronger economy than Spain. We have a stronger economy than Russia. This is insane. We have a stronger economy than China. We have a stronger economy than Italy. And we have a stronger economy than the United States itself. That is absolutely insane. If I'm doing my math right, we have a $15 million difference than the United States. Somewhere around in there. The only person, well, I should say the only people who have a stronger GDP than we do is France and England. That is insane. We have the stronger economy across the board except for 2 other nations. That's crazy. 19 million. So we're almost back to the default spending budget, guys. That's insane. So that being said, now I'm curious. I bet you we're putting at least 200,000 into the naval budget right now. Not necessarily the tech budget, but we're almost putting $200,000 in the tech budget itself, guys. And we're making 19 million back each month. That's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. That's crazy. We're gonna get a new layout system for our ships for the turret layout in about 4 months. We're gonna get better torpedo tubes in 6 months. Better shells in 9 months. Like I said, guys, some of this isn't even being boosted. It's flying right through. Yeah, we're almost back to 20 million's default budget. That is insane. Okay, I need to go check where that percentile is because we don't want to put any more money towards the transport capacity than we need to. Almost up to 180, so we got about 22% more to go till we're at the 200 percentile mark. We have now $20 million, so we are back to where we were at the start of the game. That is absolutely astronomical. I think what we should do, guys, is we should start to upgrade our ports, to be perfectly honest. Because we haven't been doing it for a couple years, I'm gonna really slam into them for a couple of years. Even after putting all that into port development, guys, which is $11 million, we're still pushing $8 million into the economic system right now. That is insane. And we're back up to 9 million. That is crazy. And once these ports get done, it's gonna be even more money that we're pushing, because that's what the ports do. They bring more money in, as well as make it so you can build better and bigger ships. That's kind of why we need that. We don't necessarily need it for the money reasons. We just need it for the ship ability so we can build the biggest ships. Wow, that's nuts. It just keeps going up and up, and we're almost back to where we were, all things considered. Okay, when I started upgrading those ports, we had 8 million. We're already back up to almost 10 million coming in. That is absolutely insane. I'm telling you guys, that is crazy insane. And we'll get control stations in 3 months. $10 million, guys. So we're already halfway back to where we were before. Dude, that is insane. Transport losses for the French. Okay, we need to increase our relation with the British here because it is deteriorating, and I need to buy myself some time. Hold up, just for giggles right now. $49 million, guys. $49 million. And we lost a bit of money each month, but it's alright, I'll come back. Where are we at for the percentile right now? I don't know. Almost. We got like 18% until it's at its peak. There's officially about 200 going to the tech budget, and there is well over 200 altogether going to the naval budget. That is crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. 9-inch Mark II guns, and now we'll try to increase our relations with the British once again, and now it's the Soviet Union, I guess, for the Russians. 93 million, that's what the Brits are worth. That's insane. Semi-piercing. Guys, this is absolutely nuts. Okay, so not much more, but I think that we're gonna get to the 200 percentile in the next episode. Again, there is a reason I'm doing all this. Alright guys, we'll see you next time. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, I know all we did was build this massive economic power, but I think it was pretty impressive with how quickly we recovered what we put into it, right back to where it was before. And once all these ports are done that we are building for 24 months, it's going to be a lot more than that. If I had to guess, when those ports get done, if we were pushing 20 million now, I would say we're probably going to be pushing at least 30 million after it's finished. I could be wrong. It could be more, it could be less, but that's just my estimation. I will see you guys next time, and of course, God bless until next time.